Welcome back to the 94 Podcast. My name is Kosti. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the weekend review. We dive into each and every performance, each and every game of the weekend in the Premier League. It was match day 6. Beautiful performances, a really action-packed weekend. We're going to be diving into one lesson that every team should have learned in that match day. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. Manchester City 2-0, Nottingham Forest, an XG of 1.45 for Manchester City, an XG of 0.87 for Nottingham Forest. And I think that the lesson for Manchester City is they are defensively good as they are in attack. Now, it's very difficult to build two ends as good as each other. When a team is very good offensively, they're times poor defensively, and when a team is very good defensively, they're times poor offensively. But what we have seen with Manchester City and what we saw in that game was a Manchester City side that literally stood up and limited chances for Nottingham Forest. Even though Nottingham Forest had an extra man, they only managed an XG of 0.87. They didn't score in that goal, and for me, they were not even really going to score. So Nottingham Forest, for me, I just don't think the quality was there to beat Manchester City. But lesson for Nottingham Forest, poor start cost them the game, and I think many teams will have to learn this from Forest. In the first 10 minutes of the game, Manchester City were literally running riot. Within 20 minutes, the game was over. Erling Haaland was on the score sheet, and Phil Foden was on the score sheet as well. And by the time they had a lifeline with Rodri getting the red card, it was all over. The game was gone, right? So the start of games in the Premier League is as important as the end of games as well. So if they had started better, probably they would have walked away with a point in that game. But Man City, I thought, were really the better side in that one. Burnley 0-1, Manchester United, an XG of 0.97 for Burnley, an XG of 0.86 for Man United. Burnley, the one thing they learned in this game, chances were not taken and they were punished. Now, listen, the two goals that Manchester United scored, one was ruled out and one was actually allowed. The Bruno Fernandes one, that was just a punishment. Man United didn't create good chances, and you can see their XG is just 0.87. So they didn't create good quality chances. They were not the better side. It shows you that Burnley created much better chances and they were on the ball in more dangerous areas. But that goal, that Bruno Fernandes strike, shows you that if you don't take your chances, we will punish you. If you don't take your chances, we will find a way of making you pay. And Burnley, they were made to pay. Vincent Kompany will be feeling very disadvantaged and very angry with his players. You take your chances in a game like that, because there are not so many times when you play a Man United and they're that poor. There are not so many times when you play Manchester United and you're better than them on the ball. Manchester United, the lesson for them is problems are still there defensively, but a win is a painkiller. And that is a long lesson, but I'll divide it into two. The painkiller comes in the fact that they didn't play very well. Honestly, they didn't. But they were hurting, right? From Brighton to Bayern, they needed a resting point. They needed to rest at some point in time, and that was a very good station to rest at. Defensively, shambles, really shambles. I think don't be deceived by the fact that Burnley didn't score. Go back, look at that game, and look at how Andre Onana keeps you in the game, and look at how Burnley's stupidity actually allows you to pick away the 3 points. But I think, honestly, Man United, they could build from that. Right from the Bayern game, I thought they were doing some things differently and much better, and in this game Andre Onana much better. Individual mistakes were cancelled out, and therefore they win away at the top 4. Arsenal 2-2 Tottenham Hotspur. Arsenal an XG of 2.14. XG for Tottenham is 1.69 in that game. The key lesson for Arsenal is self-destruction and chances not taken as well. So if you're Arsenal and you watch that game, and if you're Mikel Arteta and you're watching that game back, you're asking yourself, where did it go wrong? Self-destruction. Jorginho, one of the best comfortable players on the ball, gives away a free pass to James Maddison. But also, earlier on in the first half, Gabriel Jesus has a quality chance. Actually, two quality chances. One created by Saka and another one created by James Maddison slipping on the ball. They take none of those, and Tottenham Hotspur kind of capitalize on the disadvantage. They come back in the game and they win comfortably. So Tottenham Hotspur will feel happy. They will feel very happy with the point, but Arsenal will feel gutted. With an XG of 2.14, it means that you created good chances, right? Look, Arsenal had a better XG than Manchester City. So they created better chances, they created good chances, but they just didn't take them. Tottenham Hotspur, the key lesson is chances taken and mistakes forgiven. 2 lessons for them in that game. Now, Ange Postecoglou is going to be very happy with his boys. I think Brennan Johnson should have scored that goal that Raya keeps out. Like, the ball doesn't get a clean connection with the ball. Apart from that, the rest is history. Tottenham Hotspur had 3 chances in that game. They took 2 of them and missed 1. As compared to Arsenal, who had around 4-5 chances, took 2 and missed 3. And of course, mistakes forgiven. James Maddison is a lucky bastard. He's an absolutely lucky bastard. If Arsenal score that goal, it's over. It's game over. I don't know why Gabriel Jesus goes for power, but it's over for Tottenham, right? And Vicario was an outstanding performer as well. Chelsea 0-1 Aston Villa, an XG of 1.54 for Chelsea, an XG of 1.12 for Aston Villa. Dow game for me, really dow game. Chelsea looked like the better side, but eventually, they were always gonna lose the game, and I tell you what, they just did lose the game. They lost it. I think with Chelsea, the key lesson for this one is nothing is going right at the moment, and if you're Mauricio Pochettino, you've got to go back, change that starting 11, change the tactics, change everything, change the mentality, change the culture. Everything is wrong at Chelsea at the moment. For Aston Villa, Watkins is back, and it could be a crucial, moment for him and for Aston Villa this campaign. They just don't do well without Ole Watkins being involved, right? He got his first goal of the campaign, and they will want him to build onto that momentum. They will want him to keep on scoring goals, keep on going, right? Because he is their only striker. They don't even have a backup. The good thing is that he's injury proof. That's the first good thing. And the other thing is he can go on a run, 10 games scoring, or even 12 or even 15 games scoring. I expect him to score 20 plus goals this campaign. Ole Watkins, he's disappointed me a little bit with his start, but if they're going to have anything good in this campaign, he's going to be one of the players that are really going to have a very huge impact. Liverpool 3-1 West Ham, an XG, unbelievable stuff from Liverpool. An XG of 3.42 for Liverpool, an XG of 1.22 for West Ham. The key lesson for Liverpool, just class, absolutely class, and they're going to be City's main challengers this campaign. What I love about Liverpool is the chance creation. I mean, the way they have just made McAllister and Dominic Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones much better at creativity and creating chances, it is scary. But then they have Diaz, they have Salah, they have Gakpo, they have Jota, they have Darwin Núñez. This team is really amazing and really good to watch. So for me, Liverpool, if they can continue with the momentum, Man City will have to look over their shoulder, and they will not be looking at an Arsenal side that is younger and probably will eventually break down. They'll be looking at a strong mentality and a really well-mentored Liverpool at the back. West Ham, the key lesson, just tough fixtures for me. It's just tough fixtures. When you play Man City and then you play Liverpool, yeah, I mean, you could have put in a better shift, but I don't think this actually leads to disintegration. I don't think West Ham should disintegrate. I don't think panic buttons should be pressed all over Upton Park. No, right? The London Stadium and how well they've started, it should be an indication of how well they're going to do this season. And Liverpool, losing to Liverpool and losing to Manchester City, there is no shame in that. They will be back, and they will be back much stronger. Sheffield United 0-8 Newcastle. I don't know what to say about this one. An XG of 0.86 for Sheffield United, an XG of 3.77 for Newcastle. Now, Newcastle, how did you score 8 goals with an XG of 3.77? And Sheffield, how did you allow 8 goals from an XG of 3.77? Despicable. Embarrassing. The lesson for Sheffield United, embarrassed. They should be embarrassed. They should apologize to the fans. They should absolutely be remorseful to the fans, and they should refund all the fans that came to watch that game. Embarrassed. Absolutely embarrassing. Look, there's a big difference between the quality. I understand. But when it is 4-0, you no longer have to, expose yourself. Let it end 4-0. Let it end 5-0. Let it end 6-0. But 8 is embarrassing. 8 different goal scorers. That means that there was no one guy that was putting these guys to the sword. It was themselves literally, all over the place, and Newcastle from the spaces, and they did them dirty. Newcastle, the key lesson, a warning message has been sent to the rivals that, hey, we've not started well. We've lost 3 of the opening 6 fixtures, but we are here to stay, and this is how good we are. They have beaten Aston Villa 5-1. They have now beaten Sheffield with a margin of 8 goals. 8 goals. They have scored 16 goals, but 13 of those goals have come in 2 fixtures. They could scamper, but they will be absolutely scary, and you don't want to play them when they're at their absolute best. Very good performance from Newcastle from me. Brighton 3-1 Bournemouth, an XG of 1.58 from Brighton, an XG of 1.41 for Bournemouth. And the key lesson for Brighton is Karim Mitoma is a £100 million signing. If they want to sell him, nothing more, nothing less. This guy comes off the bench to change the game, to score in the 47th minute, like 2 minutes after coming on, and also to kill the game and put it to bed. He scores with his header, he scores with his right foot, he enters the penalty area, can score outside the penalty area. Karo Mitoma is a player, a wonder to watch. We are lucky that he is in the Premier League and we can watch him on our screens. For Bournemouth, chances not taken. That is the key lesson. When you have an XG of 1.41 and the teams that is beating you has an XG of 1.58, it means that you created the same number of chances. It means that they had almost the same quality of chances as you had, but you just didn't capitalize. And that's the difference in this game. They capitalized Brighton. Bournemouth didn't capitalize on their chances in this game. Brentford 1-3, Everton an XG of 1.16 for Brentford, an XG of 1.67 for Everton. Now, Everton scoring 3 from an XG of 1.67, it communicates that they didn't really have those real big quality chances, right? Apart from the Calvert-Dominic Levin goal, which I think is a typical number 9 goal, they don't create anything to, surprise you. Like, they really don't create anything to surprise you. But the goals they scored were really very good goals, like goals out of nothing. The Dokore one, he has no right to control that ball and put it away, right? Tarkowski jumping, ahead of everyone to score a header. I don't think corners really provide a big XG as well. So Everton, the key lesson for me, for them is that is what they missed. Character. They missed a game where they show character. They missed a game where they show that this is how good we are and we have to die for it. For Brentford, it's a reality check and they were blown away. So if you did watch the game, you could go, well, Everton had led 2-1 and scored a third one. But in the second half, Brentford were really blown away. Everton won every first ball, they won every second ball, and they won every 50-50 chance. So if you're at home and you're Brentford and you're losing to an Everton side that have not won a single game before in the Premier League this season, you're utterly blown away. You're really, really blown away. Crystal Palace 0, Fulham 0, an XG of 0.3 for Crystal Palace, an XG of 0.72 for Fulham. I think the key lesson for Palace in this game, creativity is lacking, especially with Zaha now leaving. I think Zaha was the key player in such games. He created that one moment where Crystal Palace walked away 1-0 or 2-0. He's no longer available, and we are seeing the effect of such performances that they are missing now. Fulham on the other side, they will need to score more goals. Now, an XG of 0.72 away from home guarantees you a goal. If Mitrovic is in this game and Wilfried Zaha is in this game, we could have seen a 1-1 or at least a 1-0 going either way. But both teams were happy to share points in a goalless draw. Luton Town 0-0, Wolverhampton Wanderers as well. An XG of 1.8. 1.8. Oh, 1-1, not... Did I say 0-0? 1-1, Luton 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, an XG of 1.8 for Luton, an XG of 0.54 for Wolverhampton Wanderers. The key lesson here for Luton is they were unlucky and they need to be more clinical. You cannot have an XG of 1.8 against a team like Wolverhampton Wanderers that had a red card, 20 shots on goal from Luton, and you don't win that game at home. You've got to win the game. It was a giveaway and they just didn't take the giveaway. They just didn't want to. Wolverhampton Wanderers, the key lesson, I'm sorry, they will go down. When you're playing Luton, you get a red card. You get a chance to lead the game. You cannot even hold on to a lead against Luton Town. Signs that you're going down. Signs that you are really going down. That is my Premier League review of match day 6. Let me know in the comment box below whether I really did justice to your team or I kind of screwed your team a little bit. I'll see you right in the next one.